There you have it.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome to this recording. We're at the Burlington Shambhala Center on Sunday, March 6th, and we're about 2/3 of the way through our Shambhala Day celebration, having watched a number of presentations from our International Day celebration that took place on Shambhala Day, March 3rd. And now there are four of us who are going to be talking about the state of, you could say, the state of the local Shambhala Center, and also the context for that in terms of recent events. And it seemed important for all those people who were not able to come today to have the opportunity to see this recording. My part is to talk about recent events, and I want to say at the very beginning that this is very much my own take on this, and that on March 13th there will be a community meeting at 12:30 that will be both here at the Shambhala Center and online. And I really invite people to participate in that. It's an opportunity to engage in some of the material in much more depth. So I'm just going to finger paint. Earlier this morning, those of us here heard a long-term practitioner and teacher, Daniele Bollini, talk about freshness. The Water Tiger year is so much about freshness and connection and letting go of habitual patterns. And I would say that we're, as a Shambhala community, really in having the opportunity right now to shift into a whole new beginning again. The fresh start is possible at any moment, in any case. So I'm speaking to the agreement, the settlement, and you could leave it like that.
You want to see everyone's faces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. The agreement, between the Shambhala board and the Shambhala Potrong, or the Potrong board, sorry, which is the board of the Sakyong. And there was a recent email sent out by the board, which is, I'm going to post, I have it here today, posted on our board, and there's our links to it, either already on the website or very shortly on the website. I know they went out on an email to everyone, both for the email from the Shambhala board and the actual settlement agreement. In essence, I think what most people are most interested to know is what's happened in the relationship between the Sakyong and the Shambhala organization. So first to say that Burlington Shambhala Center is part of Shambhala International, which provides, and now I'm reading the actual wording of this, or pretty much, a structure for the establishment, maintenance, and administration of a worldwide network of centers for meditation practice in accordance with the teachings and practice of Shambhala and Buddhism in the lineage of Trungpa Rinpoche and Sakyong Mikhon. the teachings and practices that have come out, such as the Shambhala sadhana that we practiced this morning. What has changed is that the Sakyong is no longer the head of the Shambhala organization itself. And he's not part of the governance. He has and will continue to offer teachings separately from the Shambhala organization to those students who request that and who choose to hold him personally as their teacher. And the Shambhala centers are centers for people who come to practice with no particular affiliation to Shambhala itself, but come to practice meditation, come to practice because they are connected to the Shambhala vision, come to practice and receive teachings from the local centers or from other teachers, and those who come to practice who are students of Sakyong Mipam, and all are welcome. And that is very clear in the email from the Shambhala board. And I personally want to emphasize that myself, that that is part of the essence of the mission of the center. So why is this important? As probably everybody here and most people watching this video know, but just to say, 4 years ago, allegations of harm and sexual misconduct were made regarding Sakyong Mipam and other senior teachers. And Sakyong Mipam met with a number of women regarding this and sent a letter of apology to the community. However, there was no further community exploration of this together with him. Shambhala International has moved on thoroughly, I would say, addressing harm by revisioning what the existing code of conduct and making it more extensive, more detailed for leadership, teachers, and members of the community, with specific methods to address grievance in order to provide the basis for the culture that we all wish for, that is of mutual respect and kindness and safety, and not being dependent on one person, but really being held by the entire organization, holding everybody accountable. And the Burlington Shambhala centers have fully endorsed this code of conduct, and it has been posted for quite some time in our public space. And as we also say on our website, we don't countenance harm by anyone, regardless of their position. So we are a Shambhala and Buddhist center, receiving teachings from the lineage of Shambhala. And as was, I would say, demonstrated by practicing the Shambhala sadhana itself, is we're here to work with our minds and hearts through meditation. We're here to potentially, if we choose, to receive teachings on our essential basic goodness, our essential awake mind and heart, in order to cultivate that and to develop kindness for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, and compassion for others. Community is at the core here of what our local center can offer. We can come together here, especially when COVID doesn't shut us down, but we've been open for a while now, to practice meditation, to do this, and to celebrate what our precious human birth, and to support each other on the path, whatever our personal journey, our personal path is. And this center depends on each of us. This vision and going forward depends on each of us. So there's been a lot of heartbreak, I would say, over the last 4 years, and also a lot of courage and a lot of commitment on the part of those who see the Shambhala vision and the Buddhist teachings as fundamental to their own path, and want to see the center continue, and want to see Shambhala continue, and want to continue to receive teachings. And it really does depend on all of us. So I really, really want to stop at this point by, again, encouraging everyone to come to the community meeting on March 13th at 12:30, online or in person, and to read these documents, because I've just dinged them, and dive into what is coming up for you, for us all to begin conversation about it. It's the Shambhala International, as we often refer to the international organization, is working on the curriculum, continuing to offer the core teachings in different ways and in similar ways to the past. And there's a lot to develop locally about how we want to go forward now. What we want to maintain as is, what we want to explore and connect with each other. So a lot of questions probably have come up for people, and do come and bring all that next week. Thank you. So now I'd like to turn our the seat over to Scott, and who will speak to where we are financially and new initiatives.
How long would you like me to talk?
This is the entire schedule, and I would say you have 10 to maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
How long do you want, Dan?
10 would be good.
10, so yeah, 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Next. Well, I hope this doesn't offend anyone, and I'm going to talk with a mask on. So, good morning. I'll say a few things to let you know what's happening from my point of view, and as well as encouraging people to attend the community meeting next week that Mara discussed. I invite you to contact me directly, any of you, to discuss any of what I'm just about to talk about. And if you don't have my contact information, I believe it's on the website connected to the blurb about working with emotions in meditation and everyday life. So at the bottom, there's my email and phone number. So, or if you want to meet face to face, chat. I'm open to that too. So, as people know, this center has been in Burlington for about 50 years, not this particular site, but we've been here about 50 years. In fact, I moved here about 40 some years ago to be part of this community. And I'm happy that I did. We had a few different locations, and a little over 20 years ago, we were being forced to move because our landlord wanted to use the building on Riverside Avenue for something else. So we went on a search for a space, which is not even 20 some years ago, is a very challenging process in Burlington, Vermont, as you might imagine. To find a space that's large enough, located relatively conveniently for many people, and with the qualities which could be developed into a physical environment that communicates the natural brilliance of basic goodness. This happens to be the place that we found. We were the first tenants. This building had sat idle for many years. It was a Hood milk transfer station for many years, and then it was abandoned. And our landlord, Lou Natali, who's still our landlord, bought this building, and we had a personal connection. One of our members knew him personally, and we were the first tenants who got to build this place. We participated in the design from square one some 20 years ago. And then at a later point, we somewhat outgrew the center that did not include this space. This was just open. It was a roof about 6 feet down. But we were able to have this magnificent room built by simply paying for the materials. And our landlord, Lou Natali, who likes to hammer nails and tear things apart and build them up again, donated himself and his crew to build this room. And an architect donated his services as well. So we've come to value this place quite a lot. And as we all know, Shambhala and our local center has gone through a turbulent transitional period. And it's affected our finances. Without getting into the weeds about that, I'd be happy to talk with you about it, but you may all know that. We are, for those of you who don't know, we are 100% self-supporting entity, Shambhala, local Shambhala center. We are able to exist because people pay dues, make donations, and we offer programs, or host visiting teachers, programs that we host. We were closed, as you know, for quite a long time, did not offer programs, we lost members. Some remaining members have made significant donations, so we've been a lot, and we had money in the bank before this whole COVID thing, before the controversial period began. So we've been able to continue to support, maintain, pay our bills through this period, but looking forward, well, actually last year looking forward, now I want to try not to run on too long, but tell me if I am. I'm running on too long. How am I doing? So far, so good. So about a year ago, the group of people who are, let's say, overseeing and responsible for organizing and helping to move this place forward, agreed that looking forward, that we needed to generate new sources of income because our dues and program income were just not meeting our basic expenses. We decided to attempt to sublet parts of this space to like valued, to health and goodness oriented businesses, practices, people who would sublet from Shambhala and help support our financial health. And frankly, I think if done well, enrich our social and relationship environment. So about a year ago, we began subletting to our first subletter, who is a craniosacral therapist who was set up in the front corner room. You may all know this very well. She signed a year lease, which is our model, 1 year leases. And she's a wonderful person, completely be a delightful person to have in our center, carrying on her practice and meeting us, and vice versa. She, though, soon after she started leasing, became pregnant, and through that process of pregnancy and the challenges there, she's decided that she's going to close her practice for at least a few years. She's still honoring her contract with us and will till June 30th. But she started to move her stuff out, and it's a very friendly relationship that will come to an end. Since we've known that she'll be leaving, we re-began advertising for subletters. I'm the point person for subletting. That's why I'm talking about this. I'm not our financial manager. Matt Kehoe manages our finances and does it very well. But I am the person who's contacted when people are interested in learning about the possibility of subletting here. And we have phone conversations, and many people have seen the space with me and have considered subletting here with us. And up to about, maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, there were some possibilities, but we really didn't have likely subletters we didn't have people who are likely to sublet from us at a level that would be likely to help sustain the Shambhala Center financially without an infusion of donations, program income, or money falling from the sky, which doesn't usually happen. But about a week and a half ago, there's been a shift, and a person, now 2 people, are deeply involved in planning and have made strong statements that they intend to sublet from us. And I'll say a little bit about their model and our model that we have worked out conceptually. You want me to say a little about this? Do I have time?
Yes.
Okay. So I won't say their names because we haven't signed contracts, but I don't think they would mind if I did. But I'll say a little bit about them. I'll give you the very brief synopsis that I just emailed our landlords about yesterday, so that they can be involved in our dialogues and planning and have their own opportunities to ask questions, because what we are talking about will be some shifts in the way the physical environment and the way that we think about this place and work with it going forward. So, the two people, one of them is an art therapist. These are both young women committed to this community and very creative thinkers, planners. Art therapists, her current practice, so they're going to come as individuals. So this all works out as it has been being planned for. They'll each have a separate contract, slightly different businesses, and they are professional friends and personal friends who are going to work together on other activities in this space. The art therapist, her practice is art therapy and life drawing classes and sort of a workshop-y evening gatherings where people draw live models and also engage in self-reflection, in other creativity, personal understanding, personal development activities with her directly. So that would be her individual practice that she will continue, intends to continue. The other person is a clinical psychologist. She finished her training at UVM just about a year ago, who intends to move her. She now is an individual therapist, some couples, maybe groups. She intends to move her practice here into this environment. So that would be her separate individual contract. They together have enthusiastic thinking, creative thinking about how to use the original shrine room, not this shrine room, that shrine room, as a, in which a variety of creative, artistic, personal exploration, examination, writing, interacting, perhaps movement activities, dance, for example, would happen in that room, overseen and hosted by them. But other teachers, practitioners would come, be drawn in, invited in by them, and that those people would contribute to Shambhala while they're doing those activities, in addition to the lease payments that these two individual practitioners would contract to make to Shambhala. Yep. So, yes, that's where we are right now. And if you'd like to chat with me, right after this, or contact me to talk more later, I'm completely open to that. Invite your ideas.
Will this also be brought up at next week's meeting, next Sunday?
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.
that is a wrap.
No, Dan. Sit.
Thank you. I'm occasionally obedient.
Shall I stand?
Yes, Kirsten is now going to speak, and then Dan will. Sorry, Dan, I
Jump the gun. Sorry.
We're hosting dog training classes
Yes.
if you're
Yes.
Sorry.
You're more obedient than my actual dog.
Oh, I might have to take my glasses off, I can't see. I'm gonna take my mask off, so I can't see my top with my glasses. I'm Kirsten Cowan-Holden. I just want to speak with you about different ways that you can engage in the Shambhala in our local community. I just want to start with that. I lead the Shambhala Cafe, and it was just wonderful to see which was yesterday. Like a couple of new people, and I just feel like there's new energy coming into the center, and I just, yeah, and some of the comments where they just were just glad that they found this physical place, glad that they found, appreciate the genuine connection that we had, talking about the Pema Children book. I just love this place, not just this place. I mean, I think it's great to have this space, but this community, because we are able to connect in a real authentic way, and these teachings have helped me to be a whole person, be a genuine whole person, and I want to share that with everybody. I want to share that feeling of being able to experience the world in a real way, and let go of some of those habitual patterns that we've been talking about. And so I am the person, my role on the council is the societal health and well-being, which is kind of like trying to get the community together. It's been hard with COVID. So I feel like we have a chance now to re-engage and reinvigorate our local Sangha. And I feel in some ways that it's difficult. Like people were asking yesterday, what goes on the rest of the week? I'm like, nothing, not much. And we used to have really a lot of different things going on and ways to engage. So I kind of feel like it's a chicken and the egg kind of thing. Like we need people to come, we need people to volunteer to lead things, to I would love to have the sits, have our weekly sits back, but we need people to volunteer to lead the sits and to be trained to be gatekeepers and timekeepers. So I'm just appealing to you to think about what gifts you have that you want to give to the center, and that I feel like I get a lot back from my time that I give to the center, because I feel like this is important to me. I value this place, and I feel like the people here give me a lot of support in my practice and in my life. And so I have, I'm just going to pass around a sheet of paper that you can sign. I'm also looking for people to help with publicity, to get the word out. I know that some of the classes that we've had have people have signed up because they've seen it on a poster. And yes, bulletin boards are coming back. It used to be nothing was on the bulletin board because nothing was happening. And or posting it on Front Porch Forum, which is if you don't know how to do it, I have directions for how to do that. And every Front Porch Forum around the city, or even out wherever you live, wherever you are, you can help in some way. And then, as I mentioned, timers and gatekeepers. And then I have a category for other. So I wasn't really expected to do this recording online. I wasn't expected to do it. I don't know how to contact me. Please contact me if you are interested in helping online too. I don't have the contact information for you online, unfortunately, but I have it written on this sheet of paper. So I would also love to get a newsletter going again. So if anybody's interested in that, or leading groups or hosting events, just any ideas you have in the other category, or outreach to the community. So I am open to all your ideas, and I'm just excited about our center going forward. Thank you.
Stand.
Scott and Kirsten, it's getting get us the lay of the land of where we stand. And a couple of things that jumped out at me in those talks were that the Burlington Shambhala Center has existed in the city of Burlington for 45 to 50 years. And without these two subletters potentially landing and working out, that the end of having a center would be upon us. We would be out of business in 6 or 7 months, something like that. And to try to imagine Burlington without this center to come to. Sunday morning, there's have your breakfast and you stay home. Blows my mind, and it's unacceptable, personally. So we will have, I mean, the rest of the center, those people will be running what they run. We are still responsible for keeping the meditation center up and running and healthy. From the Shambhala sadhana that we did this morning, and talking about the goodwill of society, and there's the fire department and the public schools, they all raise money to exist. So when your house catches fire, somebody puts it out. Your kids get educated. This center exists, holding up our end of the bargain is allowing people to connect with their basic goodness. Have access to genuine meditation instruction and teachings, and to have an elegant space to recharge their own batteries so they can go be in families and in businesses and be in society with complete connection to their own dignity and richness and goodwill. So it's still precarious. This is not guaranteed we're going to make it. I'll do everything in my power and everybody in this room, and I'm sure lots of other people are doing everything they possibly can and have been doing through the pandemic and watching our savings account shrink. So now, this idea of a fresh start. Potentially we get to share the space. We're responsible for much less rent. But we're a small group of people. We're not 1,000 people. We're not even 100 people. That it's sort of on us to re-stoke the fire and get this thing to expand. And we've heard about basic goodness as warmth and light. If you think of each of us as embers in a fire, today, with fundraising, we're going to try to throw some oxygen on those embers and get it to expand a little, right? So we're not right near the edge. We want to step back from the friggin' edge. Have a little breathing room, and that this place has another 50 years of offering richness to this community, and as a healthy, vibrant place. So fundraising, oftentimes you sort of feel like, I can't pitch in, or I got to save the world. So let's throw both of those out. And we're looking for something in the middle. It's a very Buddhist idea, the middle way. Don't give too much, and don't give too little. Figure out what you can do in your budget that's realistic and that's honest and that's connected to your heart and your values to make sure this place doesn't evaporate. Because personally, if this place does evaporate, it's going to be awfully hard to recreate it. To find another place like this in Burlington, with a friendly landlord And it is half reasonable rent. I mean, we're not being gouged. So trying to find another place 2 years from now and rebuild shrines and cushions and have a location like this, it's just not likely. So let's save what we got and make sure we're here for another. We'll start with 1 year or 5 years. But to get away from this month-to-month reality that we're starting to flirt with, that's just awful from my point of view. So think about, all the money you spend for anything in this world. How much is this place worth to you? And don't be heroic, and don't say, oh, fundraising is for other people, I just barely get by, right? There's something honest in the middle that's about right. What could I offer that my budget can absolutely support, and it's reflective of what matters to me? So think it over. There's two elements to this. That if you're going to write a check, please write one check. And that check, there's a little form here, will give you two choices. That 100% of your donation can go to the local center. Or you can divide it up. 80% goes to the center and 20% goes to what Mara calls Shambhala International, which is usually called Shambhala Global Services. And they supply us with our website, with curriculum, with a database. It's really valuable stuff. And we're in conversation with them. They understand that we're sort of on the brink. But they also don't want to be ignored. So if you want to give 100% to keep this center going, that's great. That's great. If you want to divide it up to some extent, 90-10, 80-20, 50-50, whatever you want, you're encouraged to do. Make it personal and do what you need to do. But I have some forms here that give you that choice. So if you have your check on you today, just write it out to the Burlington Shambhala Center. And then you have the choice of 100% for here or divide it up any way you designate. For those listening on the website, if you want to mail in a check, mail it to Burlington Shambhala Center, P.O. Box 204, Burlington, Vermont, 05402. And the same thing, on the check, write one check to the Burlington Shambhala Center, and then designate whether you want it 100% for here or some other percentage, how you want to divide it up between either this and Shambhala Global Services. So I guess that's about as straightforward as we can be about this, that the place needs money to stay open. And hopefully it's an act of love or an act of generosity, or we get to support this place and we get to offer this to everybody else in the community who wants to connect with basic goodness, their own insecurities, friendliness, and being part of a community, that it's a resource that's at least as valuable as a local health center or the fire department or the library, that connecting people with their essential nature, as this practice we did this morning, is the root of all that other goodwill in society. Right? That's where it all comes from, is that connection to basic goodness. So, and that's our job. In Burlington, at least, that's our job, is to have an opportunity for people to connect with that experience of themselves as worthy, complete, basically good creatures that then go participate in society. So I'll pass these around, and you can do what you want with them.
Is that a provision for monthly contributions?
This one is designed as a
One time?
one-time shot for now. Obviously, anybody that wants to raise their monthly dues or start paying monthly dues, please do that. But this particular event today is designed as a single, usually it's a once a year special donation to support what we're doing. And there's envelopes here too if you want to.
Is PayPal an option?
PayPal is absolutely an option. And if you go to our website, there's a couple of different ways to do it. There's the donate button on the front page. And I believe there's a secondary place where there's a place to do contributions on the website. So there's the donate button, right? We have visual aids and everything. So that's that. Thank you.
One thing, Dan, if we're giving back, if we're
Yes.
doing it today, where will that be located?
Here's our basket right here. You want to pop it in a basket?
This way. While that's happening, just to say that what's going to come up next is Charlotte Brody on our screen top right. I don't know, can we have her as speaker rather than everybody? Yeah, okay. Is going to conduct our I Ching, and perhaps you could introduce what that actually means.
Sure. Okay, so can people see me and hear me? Hello? Oh, yes.
Yes.
We're reading. Okay, and spotlighted. Great. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be there with you in person today, but I will be there later. I just want to mention for the walk, I'm still planning to go at Red Rocks at 1:30. There's supposed to be a nice little lull in the rain, and so it should be feasible to go, and I hope to see everybody there at 1:30. Meanwhile, so I'm about to do the I Ching reading. I've done this pretty much every year for quite some time, and it's a traditional thing in Shambhala. The I Ching is a very ancient book. It's called the Book of Changes, and it's got a remarkable connection to nowness, really. What happens is that someone using the I Ching takes coins or some other set of objects. In any case, in our case, we take the coins and we throw them, and each time we throw a set of 3 coins, it comes up with a certain type of a line, and you do that 6 times. It adds up and it makes a so-called hexagram, and then you look in the book and read what the hexagram has to say. Typically, there are 3 steps in this, and you get 1 hexagram at the beginning, which talks about the past and what the setting of the situation is. And then there are likely to be so-called changing lines, which really highlight the major changes that are happening in regards to your inquiry at the moment. And that leads to a second hexagram, which is characterizing the future. So it's a sort of a fortune telling or augury type of thing, but it has pretty uncanny accuracy. It has over many years for the Shambhala Center. And in any case, the main thing is to ponder what the I Ching tells us in terms of the kinds of energies that we've been experiencing, things that we can expect to happen, things that we can do ourselves to contribute to our vision, and in seeing what the I Ching tells us for the circumstances, it can guide us in our actions going forward in trying to create the best future for ourselves for the next year. So this is really focused on this coming year. Okay, so with that, I will throw the coins.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Charlotte.
Yes.
I'm just for my own interest. Do you start with the bottom line and work up?
Yes.
Okay, and so will you say if it's a solid or a broken line as you do it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, here we go. And I'm using Canadian loonies, also traditional. Okay, so the first line is a solid line. Next one is a broken line. Next one is a solid. Next one is solid. Next is solid. And the last is solid, but it's a changing line. And I didn't mention, I don't think the second line is the broken line, and it's also changing. So now I have to get the next one. Okay. So okay, so the first hexagram is number 13, which is called community, interestingly enough. So I'll read what the I Ching has to say about that. Society functions at its very best when each member finds security in her or his place within the social structure. When all members can be gainfully employed, yet have individual initiative, when they can excel in their own craft and in so doing contribute to the overall goals of society, then there exists harmony and a sense of community. When the members have an interest in the continuity of their community, great deeds can be accomplished. I'm going to read that again. When the members have an interest in the continuity of their community, great deeds can be accomplished. This is because the many work for the one. Whether you live and function in the midst of society, or whether you have created for yourself a life outside of the mainstream, you are affected by all social considerations, by the traditions of the community, by its economy, and by its laws. In the overall scope of evolution, the desirability of becoming self-sufficient and independent and living outside of society is as unfeasible as it is archaic. The benefits of isolation at this time are questionable. Therefore, you must now evaluate your life and your goals in the light of the needs of your community. It may be that you are in a position to help organize your community. This role requires great strength of character and the complete elimination of all self-serving motives. The time is beneficial for the attainment of social aims, yet this benefit will be lost with selfish interests and separatist endeavors. When organizing others, it is necessary to assign each member his or her place within the group. Without order, rank, and system, the gathering would become a mere mingling and little could be accomplished. Make intelligent, thoughtful discriminations of the various talents of others. Put each person where he or she will most effectively function and at the same time find satisfaction in their work. Do not assume that this will just happen. If the needs of humanity are to be met, there must be a superior leader to instill social order. If you are instead a member of the community, maintain a consistent and principled attitude about your craft or job. Your own promised success at this time will serve as an example and thereby will benefit others as well as yourself. Generally, it is a fine time for new endeavors. The forces present in this hexagram favor the creation of structures, mechanisms, and healthy disciplines necessary for the unified attainment of ambitious deeds, particularly when these deeds are aligned to and serve the needs of your fellow humans. The family is a microcosm of the community, and here too you should concern yourself with the direction of your personal goals. Are they consonant with the well-being of those dear to you? This is not a time to strike out as an individual. So that's the basic hexagram of where we're at, and there are two changing lines, which are sort of where we're going. The second line, there is a tendency towards elitism and exclusivity. This creates limitations for everyone in society. Such a situation of egotism and selfish interests will bring regret. And the top line, the unity and fellowship that are possible in this position are not significant in terms of universal needs. However, joining with others, even in a small way, is not a mistake. And this leads to the second hexagram, which is number 43, resolution. The forces that may threaten you are now in a position to be eradicated. This must be done without thought of retreat, wholly in the open, and without violence. You cannot engage your adversaries in battle, for in acknowledging their strength, you engage them and give them power. Instead, you must deny their power by making a firm public resolution to grow in the direction of what is good for your welfare. No compromise is possible. Resolution must spring from your heart and must be voiced to your friends, family, and community. Let others know fully of your intentions to overcome obstacles. This should be done calmly, cheerfully, and with authority, thus giving you a psychological advantage such as a master of gamesmanship holds over their opponent. These struggles take place without passion, emotion, or violence, but with inner truth and resolve that do not know defeat. The struggle should continue until there is nothing standing in the way of your progress. Your relationship to society at large may require you to announce the truth openly. Open truth can lead to danger, but danger, as pointed out in hexagram number 29, can be a very good thing for all concerned. This could refer to a legal proceeding or a pronouncement of your intentions to effect change. Resolution calls for peaceful, nonviolent methods. Your attitude should be friendly but uncompromising. Remember, you are dealing with truth, and therefore all else must be discredited. In personal relationships, you may now openly make a resolution to overcome difficulties by making progress in constructive directions. This will surely strengthen the bonds between you. When dealing with children, point out the possibilities rather than focusing on negative issues. However, when taking a stand in righteousness, be certain that you harbor no internal manifestations of the difficulties you're resolved to overcome. You cannot fight corruption with corrupt motives, injustice with self-serving interests, or lies with hidden deceptions. In the process of making a public resolution, you must openly examine all aspects of yourself. If you are filled with self-satisfaction and pride, dispense with these attitudes in order to grow further. If you are miserly in accumulations and information, distribute them to others so that more will flow through your hands. One who is too full can develop no more and can only invite collapse. So that's it. Anything in there ring true with anyone? Hopefully so. Yeah. Starting with the fundamental issue of community, really strong on that. Holding to our vision, proclaiming cheerfully where we're at, that we're going forward, that this is a great opportunity for us. There's been a lot of sadness in the past, and it seems now it's time to really embrace our future and our possibilities and bring that energy, that positive energy of growth to the center.
Well said.
I take on it. Hear, hear, Burlington Ho. Woo!
Thank you, Charlotte.
Yes, you're welcome.
So now we're going into closing chants, and I want to faint because we're on time. And
I'm sorry, I was in the bathroom. What time are we going to Red Rocks?
1:30.
1:30?
Yeah. And we're now going to do closing chants, or some of them, not all of them. And
What if time to do more?
so, for those who wish to join in on the anthem, we have a tradition of singing what we call the Shambhala anthem that Chicken Trumpeter composed. So I think a lot of people in this room know the tune. So let me just pass out the words to those who need the words. And you don't have to sing it if you don't want to, of course. But just so you know what we're singing. I might have enough. I'll get more. You need it?
Does Charlotte need one?
Yeah, right.
So we're going to close with two chants. We're going to do the Shambhala Protector chant, and then we'll skip to the last page, the Shambhala Dedication of Merit. So I mean, with the Dedication of Merit, we earned a lot of merit today, good karma for the practice. So the Dedication of Merit, we're giving that all away for the benefit of others, so that they can also experience that. Protectors of heaven and humanity of the 10 directions, Nolan and Lu, please come quickly. You fiercely protect brilliant Shambhala Dharma. You hold the vitality of life in your hands. You constantly watch over the progress of all warriors on a journey of awakenment. At this time of plague, famine, and war, please come mercifully to all such obstructing discord. When we practitioners of open heart become fearful, quickly give us
us the potency and strength to rediscover our fearless nature, great protectors of awakenment in the universe of unseen phenomena. You reside, constantly available, committed to assisting the gentle-hearted warrior. Now I call upon you to assist me in my practice. Please help dispel obstacles in daily life. Quickly come into my mind and heart. Remove doubt, hesitation, and allow me to experience the ground, the basic goodness. Courageously protect the Shambhala lineage. Guardians of Mukpo Dong, do not forget your commitment. Dispel outer, inner, and secret obstacles. By the confidence of the golden sun of the great east, may the lotus garden of the rigid wisdom bloom. May dark ignorance of sentient beings be dispelled. May all beings enjoy profound, brilliant glory.
Charlotte, are you, yeah, you are. Charlotte, you've got a voice. Would you mind giving us the note? We can't hear you.
Hey,
Traditionally,
can you hear me now? Hello?
yes, we stand if you like, we traditionally do. Often face the Shambhala banner or the shrine. So, Charlotte, when you're ready.
In heaven,
Voice dragon thunders, thunder, lightning flashes abroad. The lion's mane spreads turquoise front, Garuda stands a threefold world. Fierce the warriors of Shambhala, majestic the rigged on Vajra throne. The Sakyam King joins heaven and earth. The Sakyam
peace.
the trumpet of fearlessness beats out. The all victorious banner flies. Temporal and spiritual glory extend. Rejoice, the great sun rises. Rejoice, the great eastern sun rises.
The great eastern sun.
Kiki, Sosako, Ashe, Wa, Yellow, Toxin, Kimura, Yarke. Kiki, Soso, Ashe, Wa, Yellow, Toxin, Kimura, Yarke. Kiki, Soso, Ashe, Wa, Yellow, Toxin, Kimura, Yarke.
All right, folks, that's it for In the Shrine Room, and have a lovely lunch. And if you wish to join Charlotte and whoever else, resume at the parking lot, 130 Red Rocks.
The Red Rocks parking lot 130?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you so much
for participating.
Thank you, everyone. Lo sarta
Bye,
back.
Anybody that needs any forms to take home, here they are.
I'm Liz story.
All right, I'm hanging up, Gary.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. That was so helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I was happy to help. All right, see you later. Have fun.
You're still recording.
Oh, still recording.
It's good to be here. Yeah, thank you.
That was, I'm so glad you